In the end, one person stood above the rest. And it's my pleasure to welcome back to Quincy University our next basketball coach, Steve Hawkins.
You know, Coach Wooden told me once that you talked about Coach Wooden, and this is probably the best way to put it. He said, you know, Steve, things will always turn out as they should. Not necessarily the way you think or not necessarily the way you want them to, but generally speaking, the way they should. And I have a feeling that's kind of what happened here.
Steve Hawkins' journey back to the helm of Hawk basketball may be 2 decades in the making, and born of his ouster after 17 seasons as the lead man at Division I Western Michigan. But that adversity and the lessons learned in its wake were, to the new QU boss's mind, a necessary part of this process, and conjured continuously today a word he would keep coming back to.
The word that comes to me is natural. You know, it just, as I started to think about it more and more, it was just a natural fit to come back.
One, his connections with college basketball, with AAU basketball, with getting players here. Two, his connection with the community. Men's basketball at Quincy University obviously is synonymous with the community here in Quincy. He is going to endear himself to this community, and the community already knows him, and they're going to love him back. Those two things are a big deal for us.
So this past year, I was able to coach the Portage Northern Huskies. Okay, maybe the worst basketball team in the history of high school basketball. We just played our last game on Monday night. We finished the year 1-20. So I don't know how many high school basketball coaches with a 1-20 record get hired at an NCAA school. So like I said, I'd like to thank my former players at Western Michigan and Quincy University. But that's, they really truly helped me fall back in love with the game again, and being on the court. All I've ever needed was a team to coach.
Comfort level with the situation in the Gem City may indeed be an advantage for Steve Hawkins.
No question. I feel like I can hit the ground running, because I've got 11 years of experience at the university and in the community behind us. We also have an alumni base that knows who I am and can also help speak.
But there is much here for he and his new program to prove. Winning, after all, does not genuflect to nostalgia. It hinges on the work, and winning is unquestionably the imperative here. And by his own admission,
when are we going to be able to do this? As soon as possible. I'm not a patient guy by nature, and losing absolutely affects my health. And so I can't eat well. You can tell by looking at me, I like to eat. And so I can't eat well, I can't sleep well. It affects relationships. The dog runs away, all of it. And so we've got to get this up and running as soon as possible.